Notification.email.message. Another notification. Someone calling. Tab switching. Checking phone. Back to work. What was I doing? Phone again. 30 seconds of focus followed by 10 interruptions. Sound familiar? Last year my focus was destroyed. I'd sit down to work and within 5 minutes my attention scattered across a dozen different inputs. Deep work? Impossible. Real concentration? A distant memory. Then I discovered a training method from Zen warriors in 17th century Japan. A practice so brutally simple it sounds primitive. Strike a wooden post 3,000 times every morning. That's it. No apps. No productivity hacks. Just repetitive action. Until your mind learns to focus like a laser. In 30 days of this practice, I tripled my ability to concentrate. Not gradually, dramatically. And in the next 9 minutes, I'm showing you exactly how this ancient repetition technique rewires your brain. For unbreakable focus, whether you're coding, writing, studying, or building anything that demands sustained attention, welcome to Japanese Secrets, where ancient samurai wisdom meets modern life. Before we begin, comment below which city you're watching from and what you think about this video. Now, this technique comes from the Jigen-ryu school of swordsmanship in Satsuma domain, where warriors developed focus that could mean the difference between life and death. The technique is called Tategi-uchi. Every morning, the samurai would stand before a wooden post about 6 feet tall, starting from a specific stance called tonbogami, the dragonfly stance. He would strike the post repeatedly with a wooden sword. Not 10 times, not 100. The training philosophy was expressed in the phrase, Osen ni sanzen yu ni hasen. 3,000 strikes in the morning, 8,000 in the evening. That's 11,000 repetitions of the same action every single day. 4 years? Why would anyone do this? Because the Jigen-ryu warriors understood something neuroscience is only now confirming. Deep focus isn't about motivation or willpower. It's about training your brain through massive repetition until concentration becomes automatic. When you repeat an action thousands of times, your mind can't wander. There's no space for distraction. Every strike demands presence. Every repetition builds neural pathways for sustained attention. After months of this training, these warriors could maintain absolute focus in battle even when facing multiple opponents, not because they tried hard to concentrate, but because their brains had been rewired through repetitive practice. Here's how modern science explains what the samurai discovered 400 years ago. When you practice the same focused action repeatedly, you're building myelin around the neural circuits involved in that task. Myelin is like insulation around wires. More myelin equals faster, stronger signal transmission. More importantly, massive repetition trains your brain's reticular activating system, the part that filters what gets your attention. Most people's ROS is broken. It flags every notification, every sound, every movement as equally important. The samurai's repetitive training taught their ROS what deserves focus and what doesn't. After 3,000 strikes hitting the same target, your brain learns this is what focus looks like. Everything else is noise. The practice also activates what neuroscientists call automaticity. When an action becomes automatic, it requires less conscious effort. Your prefrontal cortex stops micromanaging. You enter flow state more easily. This is why after 30 days of repetitive practice, I could sit down to work and immediately drop into deep concentration. My brain recognized the pattern of focused attention from my morning training. But here's the key. You don't need to strike a wooden post 3,000 times. You need to find your Tategi-uchi, a single focused action you can repeat daily until it rewires your concentration. Here's what I did for 30 days. Every morning, I chose one repetitive focused task. For me, it was solving chess puzzles, not playing full games, just tactical puzzles. The same type of problem, repeated dozens of times. I'd set a timer for 20 minutes. During that time, only chess puzzles. No phone, no music, no water, no bathroom break. Just uninterrupted repetition of the same mental pattern. Day 1 was torture. My mind wandered constantly. I checked the timer every minute. I felt restless anxious, uncomfortable. By day 7, I could maintain focus for 5-minute stretches. My mind still wandered, but I noticed faster and returned to the task. By day 15, I'd drop into the puzzles completely. Time disappeared. The resistance vanished. By day 30, I'd sit down and my brain would automatically shift into deep focus mode. The chess puzzles were just the trigger. The real training was teaching my brain what sustained attention feels like. Here's how you implement this. First, choose your single repetitive practice. It must be the same action repeated many times, not varied activities. Examples: drawing the same shape repeatedly, typing practice with the same passage, scales on an instrument, a specific exercise repeated, coding the same algorithm. The key is identical repetition, not variety. Second, 20 minutes minimum every single morning. Not when you feel like it, not when you're motivated. Every morning, same time, no exceptions. The consistency trains your brain more than the action itself. Third, zero tolerance for interruption. Phone off, not silent. Door closed, not just cracked. This is non-negotiable. The samurai didn't pause mid-training to check messages. Neither do you. Fourth, count your repetitions. The samurai counted to 3,000 for a reason. Counting keeps you present. Every number requires attention. You can't drift away and maintain count simultaneously. Fifth, embrace the boredom. When your mind screams, "This is pointless, do something else," that's the moment your brain is rewiring. Stay. The discomfort is the training. Sixth, after 30 days, apply this focus to your real work. The morning practice is the gym. Your actual work is the sport. You're not trying to focus anymore. You're activating a pattern your brain already knows. Here's what happened after 30 days. I sat down to write and immediately entered flow state. 3 hours passed in what felt like 30 minutes. When my phone buzzed, my brain barely registered it. The notification wasn't important. This was. I could read a book for an hour without a single wandering thought. My mind just stayed with the text, naturally. In meetings, while others checked phones and drifted, I remained fully present. Not through effort, through training. The Jigen-ryu samurais spent years developing this focus because their lives depended on it. One moment of distraction in combat meant death. Your work might not be life or death, but it demands the same quality of attention. 3,000 strikes taught them presence. 20 minutes of daily repetition teaches you the same. Your mind isn't broken, it's untrained. The samurai understood that focus isn't a personality trait you either have or don't. It's a skill you build through deliberate repetitive practice. 11,000 strikes a day sounds insane until you realize what it creates. A mind that cannot be distracted. A brain hardwired for laser focus. That's not superhuman. That's just training. Comment below what your 20-minute repetitive practice will be starting tomorrow. And if you want more authentic Japanese wisdom for building an unbreakable mind, subscribe to Japanese Secrets. The ancient warriors mastered focus long before we invented distractions.